Happy New Year!
Hi, guys. Welcome in. It is December 31st, 2025, the last day of the year,
Mhm.
obviously. We wanted to come in and say Happy New Year's Eve. We're about to go into 2026. So, as kind of we have done the past couple years, actually, I think 3 years, we've done it each year, and we've sat down and we've talked about our year in rewind, look back over our life, our year, and kind of recap the journey. And, as we all know, life is full of surprises, seasons, obstacles, tragedy, ups, downs, highs, lows. In Christianity, we call them like mountaintops or valleys.
Yeah,
But like just really crazy, life is just something, you
it
know.
is. And I think we're all walking through it together. It's just social media might look different. We always post the things that we are enjoying when we're up on the mountain. And so we want to just share what our year looked like and hopefully encourage you that if you're walking through a season right now of grief or loss, of unknown, that us sharing our story of this year will encourage you to keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely with the social media, we do tend to highlight our adventures
Hmm.
because, I believe we want to share those with each other. I hope for the most part it's in good heart. But it doesn't really show the full scale of what life truly is,
Daily.
yeah, the downs, and people aren't going to highlight the downs.
Yeah.
That's just not life. But I think the older you get, the more you learn to cope with the hard times. You find purpose, you start to see. But I think without God being a part of your life and Christ being the center, in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, it says there is a season and a purpose
Hmm.
for everything, for everything you go through in life. And I don't think we're going to have all the answers or we're going to understand it all fully here, but we do have the hope in knowing one day
Yeah.
that everything will be made right. So we wanted to sit down as we've done, the past couple years and just discuss.
Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely. So if you don't know us, or you don't know much about our story, was in 2022, at the end of that year, beginning of 2022.
January 9th.
Yeah, 2022, our whole life changed. Um, we made the decision to follow Jesus. We started walking in that life of going to church. Shane was going through sobriety. We were transitioning with our marriage, and everything changed in 2022, um, which then resulted to a lot of things being shed away, such as the home we were in, which landed us into an apartment in 2023.
Yeah. And so, like last year, we were, basically hunkered down in a little two-bedroom apartment, and we enjoyed that the past couple years and really learned how to prioritize family,
Yeah.
marriage.
Hmm.
Um,
Definitely got closer when you're in a two-bedroom apartment. And I don't think as a family we've never been in an apartment together. So it was a transition for all of us. But what I thought was going to be something negative and all about image, like how could we let our family go into a two-bedroom apartment? But honestly, like God worked through that whole situation and he humbled us and he grew us closer through that. So, one takeaway I would have is that even though you don't think the situation that you're in is going to get better, it will. And God is always doing a work through every situation. Sometimes it takes going through it, though, before you can look back and see.
yeah, we always have this idea in our head. If only I had this, or if only
Yeah.
I were there, if only it's this if only game
It's
that
an image.
It is, but it's societally speaking,
Yeah.
we have this idea, like this place where you want to be in your head and have the things you want to have,
Mhm.
and then you'll be worthy, then you'll be
Mhm.
accepted, and we manipulate ourselves with that train of thought,
Mhm.
if only. And I think so often that we think instead of just learning the lesson and the journey and where you're at, and that without God, a belief in God, I don't understand how we made it to where we even made it. Obviously, we were pretty rocky. Things were bad. I've always struggled with some vices and addictions throughout my life, and couldn't really.
Well, and the biggest vice I think in our marriage, I think when people hear addiction, they will assume that it was like drugs, but the biggest vice in our marriage was alcohol, and it was beer. I mean, it wasn't hard alcohol, but there was a time where every single night Shane would come home with 30 pack of Keystone, and that would be a daily thing that we would have to go through. And it was shaky ground for many, many years of our marriage. And 2022 was when everything changed. And from
Yeah.
there, it's just been, there's been mountaintops and there's been valleys, but we have gotten through so much that we are so blessed to be where we're at today in 2025.
Yes, we are so blessed. That's right. And like, the journey is teaching me how much God loves me.
Hmm.
How much I never needed to try to be accepted. I never needed to try to belong. I just needed to surrender my life to Jesus Christ.
Hmm.
And I think through that surrendering that I've discovered how loved I truly am. And so that has motivated me away from addiction, uh, and the vices that really caused destruction in my life.
Yeah.
Was that I'm realizing God has a purpose and a plan for me.
Yeah.
And those things excite me. Those things give me hope, and they give me a reason to live.
Well, and God works inwardly. Like He's not going, and through the process of working through us inwardly, He had to remove a lot of things outwardly that were keeping us hostage from us really depending on Him. He had to remove the things that we relied on ourselves to keep up with, which was debt, living above our means, um, chasing chasing things that were giving self fulfillment but leaving us empty at the end. So he had to remove all of those things, and then he started doing a work in us. So that began in 2022. We're walking into 2026, and just to see what he's done in these past 4 years, it has taken time. It has taken tears. It has taken things that the world will try to use against you to try to bring you down, but with him he's carried us through it all, and we've came out on the other side in such a better place.
Yeah, well, I notice where the collision has lied, and that is very true. Everything you've said. And like what I've kind of discovered, what the collision lies is the things I think are best, but God knows what we need,
Hmm.
and then our wants interfere, actually bring us stress and destruction.
Yeah.
But God knows what we need, and what we need is very little in life. Like
Hmm.
we need love, we need community, we need obviously food, water. I mean, shelter.
Yeah.
That could be debatable. I feel like I could run and live in the woods,
Yeah.
but I mean, like, I don't know. It's crazy how we just try to fill our lives with so much stuff that doesn't really provide any lasting fulfillment.
Right.
Like, and I think society keeps pushing these things to keep us distracted. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the gambling stuff that has been like rolling out. Like, we hardly can watch TV anymore just because of the gambling commercials. And like, it's just like,
they're just really dumb
It's
and they're
really dumb.
repetitive.
It,
It's like, yeah,
and you
it's,
start to see these different waves that flush through society, and like I think
yeah.
their whole strategy is just to keep you dumb, distracted, busy.
Well, no, when they're really trying to get people to get on board, they just keep showing it and repeating it.
Yeah, because you'll either cower down to it and surrender, or
Yeah.
you'll check out.
Yeah, so what would you take away from this year? So 2025 was our big year. 2023 was our year of really just following God, and a lot of things happened. We were transitioned into the two-bedroom apartment. You got a new job. Um, we made the decision in 2024 to start homeschooling our kids. I left my job. We were able to pay both of our vehicles off, get out of debt completely. And through those 2 years in the apartment, there was a lot of things that we got to do as a family. And so going into 2025, February, we moved into our house. Um, Actually, something I prayed for. I was praying for a home that had gravel road. I was praying for a place where I could have chickens, and we found that.
A barn.
Yeah.
Play like this is how specific like God is that he hears your prayers. He
Hmm.
hears the requests that you have.
Yes.
But I think God wants to make sure you're in a position to where it doesn't interfere, say, with your marriage or family or your life.
Make sure you're financially secure
Yeah,
to embark into that.
he truly cares so much about us that like he will cause us to wait. Like Danielle said, like the past 3 years, there's been a lot of sacrifice. Like here we've found the most precious thing in our life, which is Jesus, and here we lost everything we had. We end up in this apartment. I've gone through I had a surgery right off the bat that almost killed me. I went septic.
Hmm.
um
Court
I
cases that
I
put you in jail.
Yep, in jail. Just a lot of different barriers that we had to walk through. But God gave us strength to go through it, and
Hmm.
so like sacrifice was a big part of the beginning.
Yeah.
And
You
so
get to a point where things just keep on happening that you literally just laugh at it. Like it doesn't even get you mad anymore. You're just like, well, we're just going to take it and go with it. And
mhm.
so in 2025, we move into our home. February, May, we welcome our new baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, even backing up to that, like, so like when we got our new place, we didn't really think it was possible. Like Danielle found this house, and she's like, Shane, I think this is really it. And so we were homeschooling.
Hmm.
So I guess really our biggest struggle, we went down to one income.
Hmm.
So financially, we've sacrificed a lot. We have just had to give up things and like really, I guess, be intentional
Yeah.
with money.
Hmm.
And so we found this place. I didn't make what, three times was it? And so you showed me this place. You loved it, and you got all excited about it. And you don't really get excited about a whole lot. You're pretty simple. And so and I was like, all right, well, let's try. So filled out an application, did all the stuff, and then she's like, well, sorry.
They denied us because of our income because we weren't a double income. So automatically,
Well, we didn't make three or four
we didn't
times the
make the
amount.
amount.
And so like to me, I'm like, you can't disqualify somebody. I know where to put the money, and I'm gonna make sure it gets paid. Like, just give us a chance is basically like what we were asking for,
Hmm.
you know. And so uh, it ended up like, uh,
She ended up letting us move forward with the application and the background check, and that all passed. And we came to see this house on a sheet of ice, and it sits on top of a mountain.
yeah, it's all the way back in a cul-de-sac. It's nothing, I mean, special, but it's just
Yeah,
it's what we wanted.
it is.
You know,
It's
it's
exactly.
exactly what we wanted. It's very easy to clean. It's easy, and it's not our home. We do rent
We
it.
tried for 2 years to buy. We that was another thing, is in those moments of like, we do everything we're supposed to do. Like, why isn't God opening the door? Why aren't we able to have what other people have? Why can't we get approved for a home when all of our friends and family that we know, they have a home? Like, it's those moments, like when you're in it and you're just asking and you're pleading with God. And then it was like, okay, Lord, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to start looking for rental houses, which I took a break from because the market was just insane. Nobody had rental houses anymore. Nobody was moving. And it was one night, it was at 11 o'clock at night. I pulled up my phone and went to realtor.com, and I was like, I'm just going to look at what they have for rent. And then this house was on there. And I couldn't believe it. I had to like cross reference just to make sure it wasn't a scam. And the next day, Shane woke up and I said, "You need to get a hold of them immediately." And he did. And they, like he said, they weren't really wanting to give us a chance. And I remember going in the shower as he's emailing back and forth with this person, and I'm like, "Okay, God, like, please just make a way. Please make a way." Like, I know in my heart this is like, there's a reason that I want this so badly. And I got out of the shower and we had submitted everything and we had an appointment to come view the home. And that was just like, I was so excited, and I don't get excited about much.
Yeah, so yeah, God made a way for us to get a home while
Yeah.
baby number 3 is about to be on his way.
Yes.
Hunter's cooking in the oven.
Yeah.
We needed more space, and he knew that. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like it's
Well, and
not.
I think the thing was, is like when people were like, "Oh my gosh, what are you gonna do?" I was like, just pile him into the apartment. Like, I wasn't, I wasn't ashamed of it. I wasn't. The world was like making me feel like the anxiety part of that was gone. Like, bring him in. He's gonna have a home that loves him, a roof over his head, and it'll work. And I feel like through that, God was able to make a way
Yeah,
in that situation.
yeah, and I think a lot of the journey, the God journey, is about care less what people think. Like
Yeah.
God will deliver you from the image seeking, the fear and the control of what others think about you, because society has almost got people in a place where they're almost afraid to even speak.
Yeah.
Like even on like a just
Just to share like where they're at. Like, everybody is struggling now. Everybody is. Everybody is struggling at the grocery store. Everyone is cringing when they get the electric bill. Like, we're all in it, but nobody talks about it.
yeah, and unfortunately this is society's ploy to continue raising things to collapse the financial system to what I believe is to enroll a new one, which is going to be a digital currency, maybe a cryptocurrency type stuff. I don't know, and I don't know, but yeah, it's just no one talks about that stuff because it's like nobody wants to address the elephant in the room, right?
Yeah.
Like no one.
And then once we moved in here, Shane had a opportunity for a new job that literally just fell into his lap. That he was not looking for a new job. He had been struggling with his current job, which was as a substance abuse counselor.
Yeah, I've been doing counseling for the past 2 years, and I mean, we got by with it, but it was very tight, and then so
But he wasn't looking for a job.
yeah, I wasn't. It actually came through another a person I know reached out to me and said, "Hey, we have this position opened up. I thought about you. Couldn't think of anyone better to fill it. Are you? Would you be willing to make a move?" That was pretty much what it was, and
Hmm.
so it wasn't the location that I wanted. It was actually at Mercy South, and it was only weekends.
Yeah, it was like it was something that would never work for
Yeah,
our
it was like
schedule.
weekends and evenings.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, unfortunately, I have a family. I can't do that. And then
Mhm.
so it was about 2 or 3 weeks later, I got the offer to get the job right up at Mercy Jefferson here, literally, which is about a 10-minute drive from the house. So
Yeah.
God opened that door for a little bit of financial increase, which was needed as well because the electric bill has increased. And, these are just things, I believe God made provision
Well, in the car
for.
that we had for 10 years, we ended up having to get rid of because it just wasn't suitable. And through the increase, we were able to find a van that fit all of us. So
Yeah.
that was another thing that we had been praying about.
Yep. And, it's just, this has really been a year of blessing. It's not just about the things. It's never about the things. It's always about just God coming through and
Hmm.
honoring kind of or helping you through life because I think he knows what we want.
Hmm.
He cares about the desires that we have, but he also doesn't want them to hurt us.
Hmm.
So it's like just trusting him
Hmm.
in the entire process that he knows what's best. It's not about comparing ourselves to society, trying to live by the society's standards, but it's about honoring God. It's about serving him. It's about doing the things he asked us to do and carrying out those things. And then he shows up.
And it's one of those things that through everything we went through, all of this could go away tomorrow. And so we have a deep appreciation and gratitude for what we have today. And we know that anything could change at any moment. Um, so, looking at 2025, what would be something that you struggled with this year?
Well, let me just go back because the scripture came to mind. I wanted
Okay.
to share it. So when Danielle said all this could go away in a minute, that's the reality of life. Life can go away in a minute.
Yeah.
Everything in our entire existence is temporary.
Yeah.
And God is constantly always reminding me of that. And so in Philippians chapter 4, I believe it's in 4, but Paul talks about I have learned what it is to have a lot, and I have learned what it is to have a little.
Yes.
And he said, but the secret of life is that he has learned to be content in whatever season he is in. So I think God is so interested in teaching us contentment in life and just being satisfied with where we're at. Because I think he doesn't want us to judge or find our fulfillment from the things. So contentment
Yeah.
is a big one. I think we're learning. We've been learning
Patience,
the past
contentment.
4 years is probably God's faithfulness, being content. And I think it's all just leading into his master plan of what he has and how he wants to use us in life.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, what were you? Go back.
No, you're totally fine.
Go back to what you were.
No, I do want to add that and through all of that, we've had friendships, we've met so many people along the way that we were able to just share where our story, where it's at. And we've witnessed quite a few people come to Christ this year that we had known for quite some time. That was just beautiful, you know.
Yeah. So real quick, just to give you a little bit of update of my job and what I do for a living, because I think this is huge, and I never talk about this because I don't want to ever like uh I don't like boasting about it. I've just become humbled that God uses me on a daily basis. I work with people in addiction. I run a detox at Mercy Hospital. And I'm constantly admitting people for alcohol, drug addiction.
Hmm.
And it's literally my job to care for them and to help them formulate an action plan for their life, help them discover in a short window of 3 to 5 days of what is matters in life, what's priority, what motivation do you have, what purpose do you have, what is life about. And I literally hammer down when I have the time to spend with people, I usually always tell them my life story, all the things I've been through, how I've come in contact with my Creator, have a relationship with Jesus, and how He has delivered me from drugs and the
Yeah.
grip of sin, the grip of hell that was on my life, and really helped set me free. And so I get to work and I get to share and I get to like really make a difference in other people's lives, and that is, I think, the biggest blessing of all, that God has entrusted me to work with such a vulnerable population. And I don't think people understand the full scope of addiction, and how people get there and why people would do that and blah blah blah. Everybody always has an idea, but Jesus has called me to love those people because I used to be one of those people. I no longer am one of those people, but I've been through it. So once you've been through something, you can help navigate others through it.
Yeah.
So your ministry is probably going to be found in your misery, or
Yeah.
whatever in your life is beat you down or
The
caused.
darkest thing that you've walked through.
Yeah, the most destructive thing that has unleashed hell and fury on your life is probably the thing God would love to give you to go help somebody else with.
Yeah.
So I am honored to be able to show up and help people each day with find freedom. Know that a new life is available, because the Bible tells us anyone who is in Christ is a new creation,
Yeah.
and the old has passed away. It's gone, it's taken away. And behold, He makes all things new, and that He forgives the sinner, and He forgives and wipes the slate clean. I remember that day when we sit down, we talk about our lives changing. What really changed for me is the slate became clean. And that's a spiritual thing. That's nothing I could have done on my own. That's nothing. You can't be good enough for God. Like, this is what He's speaking to me in this today, in particular from Galatians chapter 3, from just even looking down at this little book. God just shows me things. And so the baby,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so God shows me these things is like, Shay, none of this was because of your own doing. None of this was because you were good enough. None of this is because you deserved it. This is because of what Jesus provided. And His death on the cross, as that sacrificial death, gives us access to a relationship with God. And so Jesus calls us. He says He knocks on the door of our hearts, and He invites us into a lifelong journey and covenant with Him. And that if we believe in Jesus, we are partakers of the promise that God gave to Abraham, and that He will bless us. And so 2025 has been a blessing. Every year is a blessing. Like, if you learn to find God in your life and just understand the lessons, they're not necessarily probably what we want, but they are probably what we need. And so yeah, here we are. And then Hunter comes early in the year. And so literally Hunter comes. Here he comes. So Hunter comes.
Say hi, Buggy. Man, he's such a sweet baby boy.
So Hunter comes into our family. A new addition arrives. He was 10 pounds, 7 ounce baby boy.
Yes.
Um,
He was the biggest baby
and so
at that time born.
yeah, and that was May 18th.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, I've just discovered this. This is where I've fallen short, was like failing to discover how much of a blessing children are.
And our kids are 9 and 11. So it was like learning to parent all over again this year.
Yeah, so that's been probably a challenge. So we've talked about a lot of good parts. That was a challenge. Biggest highlight and biggest challenge. Wait,
Yes.
so it's probably safe to say is the things that we love the most are the hardest,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like I planting a seed and having to take care of it before it blooms and becomes what you're waiting for it to be is how I look at parenting.
Yeah. Well,
You're
and
having to water it.
well, let's talk about parenting this journey versus the other one. So
Oh my gosh.
let's get into that. You just had a conversation with someone the other night about this.
I did.
Was that so? We've decided to take a totally different route with Hunter than we did with our other two.
Yeah.
Take some time
And this is going to be an unpopular opinion, maybe.
But-
Hunter is completely unvaccinated. He is
Completely.
completely unvaccinated. We declined all vaccines. Even from him being born, we declined them, and they even performed his circumcision without vitamin K, which is usually protocol. And this is something we chose for our family. Both of my kids are fully vaccinated. They were both formula fed. And this time around, I feel like I had just learned so much. The past few years really revealed a lot of things. And for me, I did not want to vaccinate Hunter. And some people would be like, well, what about this and what about that? And I felt there was more harm than there was protection. And I recommend everybody go and do their own research. But Hunter is the healthiest, happiest baby boy. I was telling somebody that, when my kids were little, I mean, we were always ear infections, strep throat, flu, stomach bug. I mean, always from the start of them being probably 4 months old and
diaper
older.
rash.
Oh my gosh, the skin breakdown, like everything. And like I can say wholeheartedly that he has not been sick. He
He's
has
not had diaper
not
rash.
had diaper rash. I can see a difference. But parenting has also been very different because of breastfeeding. It requires a lot more contact. It requires a lot less sleep. So navigating through that, also while trying to homeschool, that has been the biggest thing. Being home full time. I wasn't home full time for either of my kids. With Brody, I went back to work after I think 6 weeks. And with Scarlett was 6 weeks as well. I went back working full time. So he is my first baby that I've been home with 24/7. And I love it. I love it so much. But he has an extreme attachment to me because I'm with him 24/7.
And you love it. Don't
And
lie about
no,
it. She loves it.
I do, but when
it
I want to
fulfills the
step
nurturing
away,
need.
I want to step away, he's always looking for mama, which I know raising Brody and Scarlett, like that will go away.
Yeah.
Like the need will go away. So I'm just clinging to it all while I can.
Yeah, no, it's been a different process. It's been beautiful for me to see a mom breastfeed the baby, see the love and the attachment that comes. I do joke around and say like you're making a monster, stuff like that, but like
He's a mini Shane.
yeah, no, I think he's gonna one up me. I think he's like Tarzan on, and I'm like joking around, like, is this what we're supposed to be like, unvaccinated? Are these vaccines like damning us down because he's
just full go and he doesn't even move and he's just like he's so alert and he's just so special. And but I will say, like, through this season there has been like isolation and there has been kind of like a feeling, most of our friends and family, like our family especially, is just um distant. I guess it's just been a different vibe this
Well, I
time
think
around because we were living in such a different lifestyle that I like was so heavily dependent on others that now it's just different.
I think we just nested really hard though as a family.
Yeah.
Once Hunter came, like we just really all I know I withdrew from like my workout stuff, and then like I just really wanted to be here. I wanted to be present. I wanted to be a part of it. I'm not always the best at engaging and stuff, but like I just wanted to experience, I guess I wanted to be a very present, active father as much as possible.
Yeah. And to be honest, we were on such a different routine than what we had been doing before. And I feel like a lot of relationships faded away, which I have no hard feelings towards any of it, but it's just what has come with the season that we're in. So, that is something that I personally in 2025 have walked through is just like the fading of friendships and the being fully dependent on taking care of the baby and homeschooling and but it's all been I have a wonderful husband. He is literally my strength when I am like down. He always is encouraging me and lifting me up. And I just couldn't imagine that. I know there's relationships out there and marriages that are out there that aren't like that. And I would be in a probably whole different mindset if it wasn't for him like stepping in when I needed a break and really just helping navigate like the kids. Me being so dependent with the baby, he really like stepped in and like really took care of our older kids because it was a transition for all of us. I mean, we were so used to just getting up and going that now there was that extra step, and the kids weren't getting that full attention that they were used to. We went from being the family of four to the family of five, and it was an adjustment. But 7 months later, I feel like we're
Eight,
rocking and rolling.
eight.
Well, we're almost 8 months.
Yeah. Um.
But that was probably the biggest obstacle this year was just the new adjustment with the baby.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then right when I had the baby, 2 weeks after he started his new job.
Yeah. So
So we're just now starting to breathe.
yeah, I mean, but then we had a wonderful summer of
Yeah.
vacationing. So like with Hunter when he was born unvaccinated, we just went places. We took him. We didn't really slow down either, but we just kind of journeyed into like doing something,
Yeah.
going to do stuff, getting out on the water, going camping,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But and then yeah, I mean it's definitely been a interesting blessing, and like I think too, like what we're talking about, like having it's so important to have a, and this is another topic that is probably not easy either, but like the husband and a wife in a home
Yeah.
is because we do perfectly complement each other, but like there's reasons a dad and the way a dad works is to rear up children and to push at them and challenge them,
Mm-hmm.
um, lead spiritually. I think we had a kind of a little bit of a issue on Christmas. Wanted to lead a service and just like I don't know, like leading, I don't know, and then women nurture and like I don't know, but the ecosystem of the family is based on mom and dad being present
Yeah.
and both doing their roles, and then
Mm-hmm.
not tearing at the other one for doing what they're doing, but allowing each one to have a say.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, for
it's like
sure.
because I mean, there's times I've thought you're over nurturing, you're doing it wrong. Let them cry, all these different things, but at the end of the day, you're doing what you believe is best,
Mm-hmm.
and so it works out. So basically 2025, finding God in all the things.
Yeah.
Like finding God in all the things is like when you go through enough things and you have stuff, you lose stuff, changes, all the things. Like God remains the same.
He does.
Like his truth remains the same. His message remains the same. And I think that is personally what I want to encourage you with, is that through it all, God remains the same. He is the only unchanging thing in existence. Society will keep changing, keep manipulating, keep playing games, and all the things will come and go, ups and downs. We will, gain people, gain a baby, but we will also lose people. And so the cycle of life will continue to roll. But God is ever present through your struggles and ever present through life.
Yeah.
And so I've started to adjust my perspective on not just the things in life, but what is the lesson that God wants to teach me? What is God teaching me as a man, as a husband, as a father, as a servant to other people? Like, what do you have for me? And I think God has been revealing a lot to me in the last couple of weeks. I believe He's giving me a new mission to kind of to work towards, and to try to manage it. And so tonight we're gonna create a vision board. But did you have anything else you want to share?
Um,
What would you encourage another? There was another question I was thinking about: is what did we spend the most time on, and what drained us, and what encouraged us through the year? How did we maintain?
well, I think for me, I just have to remember that you have to take care of yourself even when you're in a caretaking mode. Leaning into God and having that time with God is so important. Like getting up in the morning and just praying and reading my devotional and getting in the Word, even if I can only read a couple scriptures, my whole day I just have so much peace versus when I just get up and I just start doing things. Like, okay, I got to do this, do that, do this, do that. Then I can see where my mind begins to spiral. But when I start my day with Him, it's completely different. So I really want to make sure that I'm making time in the morning for Him first.
Yeah, and we eat breakfast together every single day. We start our day together as well. So I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so I think when you're pouring out in this world, it requires something of you. It requires your energy, attention, and so
We're all pouring out to something.
yeah, I like there. We're giving our time, we're giving our attention to these things, to whatever things. Like if you trace these things down, it'll help you figure this stuff out. But like if God is not being prioritized, because He's the one that fills your cup.
Mm-hmm.
Like He's the one. He's the reason you can continue to blossom and
Yes.
encourage, and He is the hope and the rock and the strength in life.
Yeah.
So
So I've got one thing. So Psalm 16, verse 5, it says, Lord, you alone are my portion and my cup. You make my lot secure. The boundary lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Surely I have a delightful inheritance. So, and that's literally like sometimes that's just all you need. That's you just God's reminder of His faithfulness, God's reminder of His love, just to start your day. And I think we are all in a world, in a place right now. There is such a hunger. There is such a hunger. People don't know what they're hungry for. And that's why us who are Christ followers, we need to be taking that initiative and reaching out and talking to people and not being so consumed by our devices that we're not even looking up and seeing the person next to us that needs something. It's we're in a hurting world and everybody knows it, but everybody can do a part.
yeah, absolutely. And Jesus calls His followers to be alert. and to be
Mhm.
focused and to be vigilant, because there are needs in our world and God calls us to meet those needs.
Yeah.
That's why Jesus fills our cup, is so that we can help fill others and we
Mhm.
can help meet people where they are. But yeah, you have to be aware. You have to have your eyes up. You got to have your head on a swivel. You got to know where people are at.
And it doesn't have to be some big thing either.
No, it could literally just be a hug, a hi, how you doing? Pay for the order behind you. I mean, we've been blessed by people so much,
Yeah.
financially, just needs where God has come through for us.
There has been times where we've had literally nothing in our bank account, and God has just come in and just like this, it, in just a way that will help us get through. Or He's blessed us with just running into people who've given encouragement. Um, or even, Shane's phone rings constantly. Um, and sometimes it's patients that have gotten out that need help, and they're just reaching out, or they're saying, man, you really said something that really just hit me. And I've learned through watching what my husband goes through is like, your words matter. What you say to somebody, just the time you take just to have a conversation with somebody, matters. And that is what I want to be more aware of and more deliberate about for the upcoming year, is really just every person I come into contact with to be a word of encouragement.
Yeah, to be intentional and
Yeah.
to be able to know where they're at and to meet them there.
Mhm.
And that's what Jesus did. He loved people and he met them in their darkest place, and he met them in their struggle, and he met them in their sickness. He met them in the death of a loved one. He met them, uh he meets people in the hardest area of their life,
Yeah.
because he loves you, and he proved that love. If you ever question if you're loved, if you look at the cross, you see Jesus hung on that cross.
Mhm.
And so the reason why Jesus hung on that cross is because he took upon him your sin and your shame, so that he could exchange freedom and transformation and love for you. It's the most powerful thing that's ever happened in history, is that he took your brokenness and gave you healing. And it's a transaction that occurred, that you can experience this. You can experience it today right where you're at. You don't have to be in church. You don't have to be good enough. You don't have to do anything. You can literally ask him, and exchange your brokenness for what he has for you. You can change your plans for what he has for you. And I believe he wants that for you, because he cares about you. He made you. He knows you very intimately. He knows your struggles. He hears you, and he is waiting to rescue you and walk with you through life. And
We
so
better wrap things up or we'll have them here till next year.
2026 coming with a bang. Yeah, so we just wanted to just come in and encourage you, and just say hi, and we love you
Yeah.
and love you all. And if we could ever do anything for you, or you need us in any way, reach out. Not hard to reach. Um,
Yeah. I'm ready. 2026.
we'll see what it holds, and we'll keep working for the Lord and trying to be a blessing to our world.
Yes.
And so, all right, well, enjoy New Year's Eve and enjoy 2026, and we'll see you later.
Yep.